I'm Kayla.
I'm Anna. This is Laughs and Legacies.
Hey guys, welcome back to Laughs and Legacies. Things have been super crazy lately.
Okay, rundown. Got married, and that was insane. That consumed my life and most of my family's life for a while. And then honeymoon, which we had a week in Puerto Rico, and that was so sick. We didn't plan things for every single day. We just went and chilled, and then if we felt like doing something, we did it. We're like, you want to go ziplining in the rainforest tomorrow? Sure. And then we went ziplining.
You didn't even plan that? That's so funny.
We did not book anything until we were there, and then we just found stuff and went and did it, and it was so sick. When we were in the rainforest, though, I got bit by something. No idea. And Nate later is like, what is on your foot? And I was like, look at that. It was just very puffy. I was like, I don't know. Next day it was gone. Benadryl. Woo!
Gotta love medicine.
No, dude, I was freaking out though. I was like, what's in the rainforest? And we're like looking up bugs, and just found out that Puerto Rico doesn't have a ton of huge predators. It's like very little predators. Yeah. And also iguanas are not indigenous. They're they're invasive, and I did not know that. And they're everywhere. Like, we're just walking and we see one, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's in Puerto Rico? That was pretty cool.
That kind of scary to me.
Yeah, there was, when we were in San Juan, doing a tour, there was like a cat sanctuary, and they were just hanging out all over the hills and trees, and there was like an iguana hanging out with them too, and I was like, this is the most Puerto Rican thing I ever did see. It was cool. And we paid like some money for this tour with this historian, and because I wanted to learn a lot of the history, and it was pretty cool. But the one fact that I think Nate and I took away from the whole thing was that Tylenol is made in Puerto Rico.
Thank you.
Nate had his little bottle in his bag, and he's like, I
love it.
And then
I think we... Oh, sorry.
No, you go. You go.
I was about to go into our stories. I was going to say we could talk all night probably about your honeymoon, but if you have one more thing, go for it.
Oh, I was just going to give the last update of why things have also been crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Is we're getting kicked out of the place that we live in now, and now we're trying to, buy a house and do all these, and get a car and do all these things. But the podcast prevails. We skipped last week. Shh.
I know. We both were like, we had stories ready even, but we both were just like, I am not ready to do this yet.
I know. We're getting back on a schedule, though. Don't worry.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah, we'll be posting on TikTok more, too, so go follow our TikTok. We'll put a link in Insta bio, so that'll be good. Okay, you can go to the stories now. My bad.
It's fine. We like hearing about your life, but people are here for the stories. And This week is a time I was sleepwalking. So we got some good, funny ones on that. I think it just runs in our family because a lot of them, actually, these are all a family member in one way or another.
Perfect.
From myself, I don't sleepwalk anymore. I don't think I sleep talk anymore either. I remember, I think I gotta be super, super tired. I remember on my mission, my companions sometimes were like, you're mumbling. But when I was younger, I'm pretty sure it was every single night.
That's a ton.
My parents would find me in different rooms in the house. More often than not, I'd be laying on the floor in the bathroom. They're like, what the heck is she doing here? But
what the heck?
But the best thing that had happened is I had really long hair when I was little. Grew really fast, and it was to my bum, past my bum. No, maybe not past, but it was to my bum. And I would walk up to my parents' bedroom, and they would always leave the stair light on for us. So with my shadow, I'd have my hair in front of my face like a scary movie, just stare at them like this in the doorway, and they were like, hi, Kayla, just staring at them and not moving. And then I'd walk away, and they're like, ah!
Absolutely not. That's almost worse than you saying something. Like,
right?
Just nothing and walking away.
Andrew would always tell me I did stuff too. I'd walk in his room and I'd say dumb stuff like, oh, 2 + 2 = fish. I'm like, I think you're making that up.
Huh.
But
you also, I remember another story, you also went into his room and you're like tattletaling on Andrew. To Andrew. You're like, Andrew's doing this.
That's right, I did hear that.
Yeah, that was a good one. I don't think I ever sleptwalk, but people say I sleep talk, and they'll be like, oh, okay, can you do that thing we talked about? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, I literally came into your room, had a conversation with you, and we agreed on this. And I was like, dude, that was not me, that was someone else. I don't know who you're talking to. Sleep talking. Speaking of sleep talking, I had a companion for my mission, and a lot of people say that when you go on missions, eventually you start having dreams about teaching or being on your mission, you know, doing things like being in a lesson or service or something like that. Now, I was new to the field, and I was with my trainer. We're sleeping, we're in bed, and she starts talking to me. She says, did you pray? And I'm like, what? She says, did you pray? And I was like, yeah, I prayed, thank you. And she's like, okay, let's meet Wednesday. Can you get it done by Wednesday? And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Can you tell me? I'm trying to be nice. And I realized she was teaching somebody in her sleep. I had no idea. I was having a conversation back with her, and then I felt like an idiot. I was like, all right, just going back to bed. But she just taught a whole lesson in her sleep.
I love it.
Did you ever do that or have someone do that?
I've never heard anyone do it, and no one told me that I did it, so don't think so.
Just right out loud, and I was like...
Wait, what's that other one from your mission? You were... There was, like, a new girl, and she's like, the air mattress is...
Oh! Dude, this was... Yeah. It was such a lucid dream or something like that, because a new girl who'd just flown into the mission and everything... She wakes me up in the middle of the night, and I couldn't remember if this was real or not. It wasn't there, you know? And she's kneeling down at my bed. I just remember opening my eyes and seeing her kneel down next to me, and she's like, Sister Martin, my mat just deflated and I don't know what to do. And I was like, I didn't think, because I wasn't awake, really. And my natural response was I just got up out of bed, and I went into the other room. Now I can only imagine after, you know, being awake and thinking about this story, I can imagine her just sitting there like, what the heck is going on?
Like, is she mad at me?
Yeah, like not saying anything. And I come back with all of the couch cushions and throw them on the floor. And then I go out and grab the rest and throw them on the floor and put her blanket on it. And then I get back in bed. And she just goes, thank you. And then I, like, hear our alarm and my eyes are still closed. And then I'm just sitting there waking up, and I think to myself, did that happen? Was that real? And I, like, peeked an eye up, and I look at the floor, and there's a bunch of couch cushions, and she's sleeping on top of it. And I was like, oh, no.
The poor girl, honestly.
Like, Sister Well, I'm so sorry. I wasn't there last night. Like, I don't know what happened. If I was more conscious, I would not have, like, left you like that. She's like, no, it's fine. Thank you so much. I was like, oh, man.
She was being so nice. If that was, like, one of my first nights, I'd be like, are you serious?
Yeah. Poor girl. They gave her a bed later, but it was good stuff.
I love it. Oh, my gosh.
Hey, look, now we have a story of other people, not family. Let's go.
There you go.
The next one's family, too, so...
My dad sleepwalks and sleep talks a lot. A lot.
The stories go on for days.
He has so many stories, but we're going to tell you the best ones. I'm trying to think of the order. I literally have 3 for him. Okay. First one is that over the summer, so he grew up in Utah, and over the summer he'd stay at his uncle's house where they took care of, like, he lived on a farm, and he helped take care of the stuff there. And there was one of the nights where he literally just got up and ran around the house just screaming his head off. I can't remember. I didn't write it down. I'm dumb.
I don't remember this story at all.
Like, I'm trying to remember what the reason was. I didn't write it down. Why did I not write it down? But he, like, is up and screaming, And they come down and they're like, what the heck are you doing? Because they didn't know he slept, talked, or walked.
Oh.
And they literally thought, like, someone was killing him. That kind of scream.
That's terrifying. And it's, like, not your son or
Not
anything
your
like
kid.
that. Oh, my.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that was part of it. That there was actually stuff going on in the town where people were that's a big change to the story. It's like stuff was actually going on at the time there. So they were like
freaking out
that somebody's in the house.
Oh my
because
gosh.
it was going on at the time.
Oh,
so that was the first one. Second, I don't know if he still does this, but like this is more recent, is he'll fall asleep before my mom, and then he'll just go, are you poisoning me? I like close my eyes like I'm him. Are you poisoning me?
Yeah.
And she goes, what? And she'll change it every once in a while because it's happened multiple times. Most of the time she goes, no, I'm not poisoning you. Go to bed. And other times she's like, yes, I'm poisoning you. And he's like, I knew it. I knew you were poisoning me. And like get all mad at her. But of course I saved the best for last. I think it was one of those times where he was asking her if she poisoned him and blah blah blah, and one of the times where she goes, yeah, I poisoned you. And she he gets out of bed and he walks away.
Okay, where'd he go?
And then when he came back, they heard a knock on the door. He had woken up. They heard a knock on the door. He had called the police in his sleep and said, my wife's poisoning me.
Oh, shoot!
You don't remember that story?
No! Crap!
And all they said is, like, the police were trying so hard not to laugh. They were like, is everything okay? Are you sure? Like, he's like, yeah, I was sleepwalking and sleep called you guys. Everything's fine.
Being poisoned.
It's like, my wife's poisoning me.
I can't believe they're just laughing about it, though. Like, I mean, like, yeah, but a part of me would be thinking of Criminal Minds where, like, people will lie when they go to the door. Like, they call the cops and then they lie, you know?
Yeah.
I can't believe that there was, like, no investigation on Mom. That would have been pretty funny after 10 years.
Because he must not have... I think the thing is, too, I don't think he would have given them any information, like stayed on the phone long enough or something like that, and you know they can trace the call and be like, okay, it came from here, and they'll still go to the house. So I think they must have known that the call was weird as well.
My wife's poisoning me.
You know, I don't know. I just think it's hysterical.
Another family one. This, speaking of hysterical, have you ever heard of night terrors? Yeah. The only time I've ever heard of a night terror is from the movie Bedtime Stories. You remember that? He's like, just saying I have night terrors. And he thought they was kidding. And then he wakes up in the middle of the night. I'm innocent!
I forgot about that.
Okay, so some people in our family have night terrors. Didn't know that. My goodness. I'm in New York in the Times Square Marriott Hotel or something like that. And we're literally in Times Square. So her bed is right next to the window. So just like the silhouette when you were walking in the room and they see that creepy thing. Her bed's by the window. So I see her silhouette while she's sleeping. And she says, oh, by the way, I have night terrors. And she's kind of a girl that I thought she was being sarcastic or funny. Oh my gosh. In the middle of the night, bloody murder screaming in this hotel room. And I'm wigging out because I just got woken up. And so I'm not completely there. I'm just in shock and all this adrenaline. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And she's just like this, like 90 degrees. And I just see her silhouette, 90 degrees sitting in her bed, just... screaming, and I just like grab Mom and I'm like, Mom, what the heck's going on? Like, what is it? Like, what do we do? And I'm like, Kendi, and I'm like trying to talk to her, and then Kenra, like her mom, is like, no, don't wake her up. It's like she's having a night terror. I was like, that's real? I thought she was kidding.
I thought she was kidding.
Oh, that was terrifying.
But that totally reminds me. So I think most parents that listen know the fear of their newborn child, like whether you sleep with them or they have them in a little bassinet next to your bed, you just are like in constant fear that something's going to happen to your kid as a newborn, right? And like all the time, I already sleep light, but the first couple of months I was like always halfway awake because I could hear his breathing. One night, Ale gets up in the bed, which he slept in a bassinet. He did not sleep in bed with us, but Ale gets up out of bed and he's like on his hands and knees and shuffling all the sheets around, like throwing them, and gets up and I'm like, what is going on?
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like freaking out. And then he wakes up and I am like on the edge of tears, like I'm swelling up, like, what's going on? He's like, I just had a dream that he was in the bed with us and we like suffocated him. And I was like, that is the scariest dream ever, and you just scared me so bad. I literally didn't sleep the rest of the night. Like my heart was just like racing the rest of the night because he scared me so bad.
That's the worst dream ever.
It's such a fear, and every new parent knows this. Like you're just like so terrified that something's gonna happen. And that's why I never had Xander sleep in bed with me. That just like terrified me so bad. But it still is scary them sleeping on their own. That things could happen, but
oh my gosh. I don't like that. That's a scary one.
Yeah, it really scared me. And here's another scary one. This is the last one. Unless we come up with another one. Anyways, there's so many stories.
And this one's also family. Let's go.
Yeah, this is our Uncle Pete. So this is a story that my dad like remembers. So if there's like any details that are kind of missing, sorry, but this is like how he remembers it. Is that they were at the time they were staying in a trailer house, and he was working in the mines. So his dream was that the mine was collapsing, and so he is standing up on the furniture and he's punching holes in the ceiling because he's trying to save everyone because he was dreaming that the mine was collapsing. How terrifying would that be? Just punching all these holes in the ceiling trying to save everyone.
How was it for him waking up? Like,
I don't know. We should have
oh
we
my gosh,
should get
Uncle
the
Pete.
story from him, but yeah, that's like how my dad
Uncle Pete,
remembered
we
the
want
story.
to hear the rest of the story. We're gonna go talk to him now because that's
so scary.
That's terrifying.
I never remember my dreams, but I remember when I wake up going, that was happy, that was sad, that was scary, but like none of the details of it.
Wait, okay, so this episode was about sleepwalking and talking, but I feel like we should have one in the future perhaps about dreams. Like really crazy ones. Like, have you ever heard about the ones about moms and they're like, they text their kid, they're like, hey daughter, like, where are you tonight? She says, I'm going to the bar with my friends. And she says, don't go to the bar with your friends. I had a dream last night that there was like so much blood. I don't know, like, just don't go. And by the way, I saw this one on TikTok.
She sent it to me today.
And, yeah. And so the daughter she's like, okay, mom. And she doesn't go. And the next morning she saw on the news that at the bar they were going to, like, several people died. There was like some shooting. Right. And that was on TikTok. And
so scary.
We need to have another episode where people have things like that, where dreams manifested something truly in their lives. That's fascinating.
It is crazy how much dreams can tell you about what's going on in your life anyways. Just like if you're stressed out or scared or whatever.
Yeah.
How it manifests.
Yeah. Okay, that's a future episode. For now, we're going to keep going with things. Look out for more posts and fun things on TikTok, on Instagram, and we're going to get a Patreon going soon. So be on the lookout for that. We'll let you know when it's up and it's going, okay? Woo!
Yeah,
Thank you guys so much.
Have a good one.